All right, I don't normally do this, but I do have here in my hands a Fujifilm x100 Mark 6 VI. I am not a professional photographer, and so I will be unboxing this, but I figured I'd take this opportunity to tell people why I chose this camera. I just spent the last few weeks checking out many reviews on this camera, and they have fancy videos, fancy photographs. I am not going to be giving you guys any of that. Looks like we have a thank you letter here, manuals, QR codes, and my use case just didn't seem to fit the bill with many of these reviews. So again, I am not a professional photographer. I'm a hobbyist at best. I'm very amateur. But I still wanted this camera, and my primary purpose for getting this camera is travel. I think this camera is for you if you're the type of person that opens up savings accounts just to track your goals on Mint. If you're that type of person, I think this camera can be for you. Are there better setups? From what I understand, there are. There's the XT5, which is slightly bigger. So according to some reviewers, if you're just willing to go slightly bigger, you get all these different features from changeable lenses and all that stuff. And I'm sure if you just went slightly bigger from that, you can get to GSX and all these other fancy cameras. And for me, it was just critical to have as compact of a camera as possible. I have a kid. I don't want to be finessing with lenses while traveling. And I'm not part of the Fujifilm family. This is my first Fujifilm camera. I don't have any lenses that I want to take advantage of for this camera. If you are part of the Fujifilm camera and you have lenses, you might want to consider perhaps a different camera where you can take advantage of what you've already invested in. For me, I'm actually part of the Canon family, and when I say part of the Canon family, I mean I've had two Rebels. My camera that I usually travel with is the Rebel T6i. It's quite a bit, it's pretty old, and so I wanted a new camera, one that's a little bit more compact, one that isn't so bulky, because I will say, like, I've gone to places and I'm just like, I don't want to take this camera because it's too bulky, and I don't want to be dealing with that added weight and the added gear and the extra backpacks when traveling and all these different things. So this looks like it's it. And I didn't get any accessories for it yet. I don't have any fancy thumb grips or anything. I can tell that it's meant to be properly held with two hands. I can kind of carry it with one, but as soon as I let go of that trigger, I'm sure, or sorry, as soon as I place my finger on the trigger, I'm sure I can kind of keep it stable. It's not too bad. Maybe I don't need a wheel after all. There's a lot of empty space here. You can easily apply pressure there and be fine. Or just add your second hand. So the way I came about wanting to buy this X100 might be a little bit unorthodox, and that is I started off looking at DJI Pocket 3s. Again, my thing was I wanted something easy to use, something that's compact, something that I can just pull out at a whim. And the DJI Pocket 3 seemed a little bit too vlog oriented, and I didn't want that. I wanted something that's still photo forward, but I can also create some nice videos to document my upcoming trip to Austria with my family. It'll be our first trip with baby across Atlantic, and so I wanted a new camera that would help me do so. Looks like this is it. Again, I'm not a pro photographer. My reasons for buying something like this is, one, I have the money to invest. It's been a while since I've gotten a new camera. And there are some upcoming memories that I wish to document in quality. There are some disadvantages that I was made aware of. The two biggest ones that deter me are the battery lives. So I don't want to be finessing with lenses, but it sounds like I'm gonna have to be finessing with batteries. That might be manageable if I have an extra one or maybe two, and when one goes empty, the other one's charging, and I can alternate that way. The other thing that I wasn't particularly fond of, and to be honest, I only found out after I had made my purchase, was that there is no quick camera or photo to video type button like there is on the DJI Pocket. You can easily go between the two. So those two are my main gripes about this camera. I don't have any photographs to show you because you guys just literally saw me open this for my first time. I didn't open it up before this and put it back together for the video or anything like that. I'm looking at this for my very first time. I'm even holding one for my very first time. I have not held one or seen one live. I didn't buy this for the aesthetics. It does look nice, but I didn't buy this for the aesthetics. I'm not a film snob. I'm not, sorry, I didn't mean to offend you by calling you a snob. What I mean is, like, I'm not a hipster. I'm an engineer, and this is the right tool for what I'm trying to achieve. I can't even figure out how to open this. I don't want to force it. I'll probably just read the manual because I don't want to ruin my new toy here. You might be wondering how I got my hands on one. It's been sold out everywhere. I overpaid for a bundle package on Amazon. That's how I was able to do this. I'm hoping that more of these become available so that I can buy one at market price. Sorry, not market price, at MSRP. I'm hoping I can buy one then and return this, but I needed one right away for my Austria trip, so I was willing to pay the premium. And even if it doesn't work out, I have all these accessories I don't think I'll ever use, like dollies and hideous backpacks. But again, my priority wasn't to be optimal. Around flexibility. I really just want a single camera. I'm okay with the fixed lens because it achieves exactly what I wanted to achieve and all that I wanted to achieve. If I'm going to be finessing with lenses, the X-T5 is a great camera, it's my understanding, but I'd probably go a step higher. Maybe look at the GS-Axis or maybe just not Fuji at all. I have lenses for Canon, so I'd probably be looking at like the T8 or T10 or something else. But for a standalone camera, this is going to fit the bill quite nicely. It's quite heavier than I expected because it looks like the size of a Kodak camera. I expected it to be lightweight, but it's actually pretty hefty. But yeah, this is it. There's nothing left in the box. It was the camera. Looks like you get an adapter for power, USB, You get some, I don't even know what these things are, to be honest, and the cable for charging plus the battery that I had just put in. I bought a memory card separately. Hopefully it arrives later today. It comes with a strap, though I did buy a brown one to contrast a little bit more aesthetically. Yeah, this is why I bought it, to travel. Fits the bill. Hopefully it'll encourage me to just take more pictures because I have the camera available to me. I'm using my iPhone most of the time right now, but I also like using my iPhone for my Google Maps or Apple Maps when navigating in the car, and having a separate camera without having to interrupt my navigation or music player or any of that is going to be really nice for my purposes. I'm going to step away now. I'm going to grab my Canon just to show you the size, the difference in size. Okay, I just had a blonde moment. I was like, where'd my camera go? It's what I'm using here. I haven't used it in a while, so I'm not used to using my camera, but I have it here set up for this open boxing, which isn't even overhead. Just goes to show, again, I'm not a pro. I don't even make YouTube videos like this, but I got here differently, and I figured there might be others that are interested in the camera who are not professional photographers, and this might be your only camera that you're going to be investing in. Seems like the pros like this as a secondary weapon, and this is going to be my primary camera, and I'm okay with that. I've seen some reviews where they're complaining about, oh, 40 megapixels, too much data space, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm sure it's configurable. You can take pictures at smaller megapixels if you really want to. There's just a lot of noise out there around the hype of this camera, and I wanted to give an authentic, genuine perspective for an everyday person who's willing to spend a little bit more money than your average person on a camera. So who's this camera for? Well, this camera's for me. And if you think it might be one for you too, then I would say do it. Why not? If it doesn't work out, just sell it later. Maybe even for a premium. Seems like everybody wants this thing. So that's it for me. Hope this is helpful.